Okay, let's take this example. Simple interest on rupees 3,500 for 3 years at 12% per annum. Per annum means annually is what? So let's jot down quickly what it would be. You have the principal as 3,500 and period, that is T, is 3 years, and rate is going to be 0.12, which is the same as 12 by 100. Right? So, what is the simple interest? Simple interest is going to be PIT, or rather whatever is the interest rate, R, small r by into T. So, P is going to be 3,500 into 0.12 into 3. So, 3 into 3,500 into 0.12, let's see what it is. It turns out to be 1,260. This is the interest which he has to pay for 3 years. So, which is going to be option number B. Simple problem. Yes, we do have it as 1,260. So, here just to highlight the concept of period and rate. See, for example, we have it. So, it is 3 simple interest on 3,500 for 3 years at 12% per month. So, if it's going to be 12% per month, the rate is going to be 12 into 12. That is 144% per annum, which is a whopping amount. It's a little unrealistic maybe, but then the idea is to make you understand the difference between the annual rate of interest and monthly rate of interest, especially with simple interest. It's 12% per month, is going to be 144% per annum. So in that case, it's going to be PIT, which is going to be 3,500. I can be written as small r, and this is going to be 144 by 100, which is 1.44 into 3 years. So PIT, hence that is going to be so it turns out to be 15,120. Of course, it's almost unbelievable that somebody would pay interest of 15,120 on rupees 3,500. Anyway, so this is the value it is. So the interest itself is 15,120, and of course the principal, the amount that he is going to get back is 3,500 plus 15,120. So this particular example has been given mainly to make you understand how we need to convert monthly interest rate to yearly, or else convert the years to months. Hence you can convert 3 years to 3 into 12, that is 36, which, and leave the rate as just 12 itself. Okay, fine. So that is 15,120. Furthermore, you have P is 5,000, R is 15, T is 4.5. Interest would be what? So interest is going to be PIT, which is going to be 5,000 into 15 by 100, which is 0.15, into 4.5, that is 9 by 2. So that turns out to be it turns out to be 3,375 is the interest. So our answer is 3,375, which of course is right. Okay. Here we have P is equal to 12,000, A is so and so, T is 2.5 years, rate percent per annum, simple interest would be what? So we know A would be equal to P plus PIT, which can be written as P into 1 plus RT would be the amount. Now this has been given as 16,500. Principal is 12,000 and 1 plus R. R is going to be not known, so and 2.5 years. So it's going to be 5 by 2 R is going to be the amount. So that is going to be, this gets cancelled. So we have 165 by 120 165 by 120 is equal to 1 plus 5r by 2. So we have 165 divided by 120. So this turns out to be 1.375 minus 1 is 5r by 2. So 0.375 into 2 by 5 is r. So that turns out to be 0.750 by 5, which is 0.15. That is the same as 15%. 0.15 you get, which is same as 15%. So our correct answer is 15%. And of course we are having it right. Then the principal is rupees 8,500, amount is so and so, rate is 12.5%. Time would be what? So you have again the same kind of principle. So you have A is equal to P into 1 plus RT, or depending upon the rate, you can even write it as RT by 100. So amount is going to be 10,200 is equal to 8,500 into 1 plus R is 12.5, that is 0 upon 100 into T. So this is 102 upon 85 is equal to 1 plus 0.125 T. So this is turning out to be, will turn out to be cancelled by 17. This will turn out to be 6 by 5. So we can do it 102 divided by 85 plus 1.2 will turn out to be. So is equal to minus 1 is 0.125 T. So this turns out to be 6 minus 1 by 5. So which will not only be 0.2 is equal to 0.125 T. So T turns out to be 200 by 125. 200 by 125. So which turns out to be 25, which turns out to be 8 by 5 of a year. 8 by 5 of a year means 8 by 5 of a year, which is 1 3/5. So you're getting 1 year and 1 3/5 of a year. Now 3/5 of a year is nothing but 3/5 into 12 months, which is roughly 36 by 5 months, which is 7 months odd and a few days. So it's going to be roughly 1 year, 7 months. So this is 3/5 of the year. So you multiply by 12, which is 36 by 5, which is 7.2 months or so. So roughly it turns out to be 1 year and 7 months. So our correct answer is 1 year, 7 months. Right? It's an agreement. Furthermore, the sum required to earn a monthly interest of rupees 1200 at 18% per annum SI is so and so. So you need SI has been given is 1200, rate of interest is 18%, that is 0.18 is R, and per annum, so T is equal to 1. So it's going to be SI is so and so, you have to find. So it's going to be I is equal to PRT, so earn a monthly interest. But here we have to see, so interest has been given as 1200, we don't know what the principal is, rate is 0.18, but the time has been given as 1 month. You want a 1 month monthly interest, so you need 1 by 12. So or else you leave it as T and then you divide it by 12 accordingly. So hence P turns out to be into 12 upon 0.18, which turns out to be 4 into 100 by 18. So 8 turns out to be 80,000. So the principal, if you take the principal as 80,000, it will give you a monthly, at this particular rate, it will give you a monthly interest of 1200 per month. So you need 1200 per month monthly interest. For that, you need to invest 80,000 rupees. Remember, most important thing is you want monthly interest, so we find it out like this. Hence, we get it. Right. So, among these, this is the right answer. Right, we do have it there. Okay. Then, you have another example. Rupees 8,000 becomes rupees 10,000 in 2 years at simple interest. So, that means principal is 8,000 and the amount is 10,000 and 2 years. T is 2 years and you've been asked to, you need to find R, right? So it's going to be A is equal to P into 1 plus RT. So which will turn out to be 10,000 is equal to 8,000 into 1 plus 2R. So we have 10 by 8 minus 1 is equal to 2R. So it turns out to be 2 by 8 or 1 by 4. So 1 by 8 is equal to R. So if you simplify this, this turns out to be 10 minus 8 by 8 is 2R. So hence it turns out to be 1 by 8. So let's see what 1 by 8 is 0.125. So R turns out to be 0.125. In other words, it is 12.5% is the rate of interest. So the amount that will become 6,875 in 3 years at the same rate of interest. So that means in the second case, P has to be found out using the same amount, that is 6,875 amount is equal to P, we don't know, 1 plus 0.125, that is the rate, into T. We have to find out. So P is going to be 6,875 divided by 1.375. $6,875 divided by 1.375. Let's see what we have. It turns out to be 5,000. So it is this 5,000. So first set of information has been given to find out the rate, and using this rate you have to tackle a different situation where you need to find the amount over there. So we have the sum that is lent out as 5,000. So this is going to be the sum. Hence we have it as 5,000. Alright, so we get principal as 5,000, which is what we have. Alright, find further. Okay, here we have something. A sum of money amounts to rupees 6,200 in 2 years and rupees 7,400 in 3 years. So the principal and rate of interest are so and so, assuming SI. Now we have a pair of simultaneous equations you have. So in the first case, you will have A1 is equal to P into 1 plus R into T1, and hence you have A1 is 6,200 is equal to in 2 years. So we don't know what the sum is, and 1 plus R. R is, we do not know what the R is in 2 years. So it's going to be 2R, one thing. And the other equation is A2 is equal to P into 1 plus R T2. And hence we get A2 as 7,400 is equal to P into 1 plus 3R. So we can possibly divide 2 by 1. So if you divide 2 divided by 1, you get 74 by 62 is equal to 1 plus 3R divided by 1 plus 2R. Hence that turns out to be 37 by 31. So you get 37 into 1 plus 2R is equal to 31 into 1 plus 3R. That turns out to be 37 plus 74R is equal to 31 plus we have 62. 31 plus 93R. So we have hence 7 minus 1, 6, and here we have 13 minus 4, 9, 19R. R turns out to be 6 by 19. So roughly around, it works out to be around 31.57%. So it roughly turns out to be 31.57. Let's substitute this value in any of the equations. So maybe we can put it as, therefore 6,200 is equal to P into 1 plus 3R, that is 18 by 19. So P turns out to be 6,200 into 19 upon 19 plus 18, 37. So what is that turning out to be? 6200 into 19 divided by 37. We have 3R. Sorry, we made a mistake here. This should be 2R. So this should be 12 by 19. So it turns out to be 19 plus 12. So it's going to be upon 31. So it's going to be 200 into 19. We made a mistake here. We took this part of this equation and substituted as 3R. So it should be 12 by 19. So 200 into 19, which should be 3,800. So you have the principal amount as 3,800 and the rate of interest is 31.57. That is option number A. So this is what is the answer. Yes, we do have it. Okay. Then you have something coming up here. A certain sum of money amounts to rupees 6,200 in 2 years and rupees 7,875 in 3 years, 9 months at simple interest. So find the rate of interest per annum. So a certain sum of money amounts to rupees 6,300 in 2 years. So 6,300 is equal to P into 1 plus R into 2 years. So it's going to be 2R. And the other one is 7,875 is P into 1 plus 3 years and 9 months. So 3 years and 9 months would mean 3 and 3 by 4th of a year. So 9 months is actually 9 by 12th of a year, which is 3 by 4. This turns out to be 4, 3 or 12 plus 3, 15 by 4 R. 15 R by 4 is the rate. So this is actually 3 year, 3 months. 9 months, I'm sorry. 3 years, 9 months is going to be 3 years and 9 by 12. So which is 3 and 3 by 4. So hence we have it. This is the second equation. We can again divide 2 divided by 1. So you get 7,875 divided by 6,300. P gets eliminated. You get 1 plus 15R by 4 upon 1 plus 2R. So this one turns out to be 67875 divided by 25. So it's 315 here, and we have 6,300 on 252 is equal to 4 plus 15R upon 4 plus 8R, and hence we need to cross multiply 4 plus 15R. So it turns out to be 315 into 4 plus 8R is equal to 252 into 4 plus 15R, which turns out to be is equal to 1260, and have 2520R, and here you have is 1008, $3,780R, and hence on simplification this turns out to be so we have 1260R is equal to 252. So R turns out to be 252 upon 1260. Turns out to be obviously 20%. So rate of interest turns out to be 20% per annum. So in both these examples that we did, it's basically simultaneous equations. So previous one, this was further used to calculate the sum. Here you have just been asked the rate of interest. Hence the correct answer is 20%, right? The next sum goes this way. A sum of money doubles itself in 10 years. The number of years in which it would triple itself is what? Assuming SI. So basically a certain sum, so amount is equal to twice the principal itself. So again we have two equations. In first case we have amount is equal to 2P. So that means amount we know is P into 1 plus RT. So in this case 2P is equal to P into 1 plus RT. T in this case is 10 years. So it's going to be 10R. So in that case 1 plus 10R is equal to 2. That means 10R is equal to 1. So R is going to be 1 by 10. That is 0.1. 0.1 it is. So in other words, it's 10%. So the rate of interest is 10%. Now you have been asked, when will it turn out to be 20? So when will A be equal to 3P? So we'll have to find the time period. So A is 3P. So A is again P into 1 plus RT. A is of course 3P. Principal remains the same. 1 plus rate is 0.1 into T. So this gets cancelled. Of course 3 minus 1 is equal to 0.1 T. So T would be equal to 2 upon 0.1, which is 20 by 1, 20. That means after 20 years, the amount would treble itself. So the first set of information is again meant to find the rate of interest as in the previous case. And with that rate of interest, you find the period in the second case. So it turns out to be 20 years. Okay, right, fine. Further ahead. So now here, in how much time would the simple interest on a certain sum be 0.125 times here? Here we won't use the amount formula. We shall use I is equal to PRT formula because you've been asked to find the simple interest. Now it is told that I is actually 0.125p. So we can substitute as 0.125p is equal to P into rate is 0.1 into T. So P gets cancelled. and t is nothing but 0.125 upon 0.1, which is 1.25 if you divide it, which is nothing but 1.25 of a year. That means 1 year, 1.25 of a year, which is, you have the option here, 1.25 years. Hence, in 1.25 year, the interest would be 0.125 times the principal. Okay. Okay. Then, here we have a case wherein you have a person borrowing rupees 5,000 for 2 years at 4% per annum simple interest. He immediately lends to another person at 6.25% per annum for 2 years. So what is the concept? He is borrowing. You have been asked to find the gain in the transaction per year. So eventually he is borrowing at a particular rate and giving it out at 6.25. So net percentage gain is actually 6.25 minus 4. That is 2.25% is his net gain. And hence, so the net gain that he has is nothing but PRT upon 100. This is going to be net gain for 2 years. You can put it this way. So that's going to be 5,000 into R. That is 2.25, which is 9 by 4, into T is 2 upon 100, which turns out to be 25 into 9, 225. This is for 2 years. But you have been asked, what is the gain in the transaction per year? So since simple interest remains the same throughout, every year it remains the same. If simple interest for 2 years is 225, so gain per year, which is nothing but the simple interest gain per year, is 225 upon 2, which is 112.5. So 112 rupees 15 paise is the gain that he makes per year. So read this question. If the question is just find his net gain is just 225, but it's told find the gain per year. So it's 112.5, right? Furthermore, we have two equal sums of money were lent at simple interest at 11% per annum for 3.5 years and 4.5 years respectively. If the difference in interest for two periods was 412.50, then each sum would be 3,000. What among these? So two equal sums. So P remains the same. Okay. So it's going to be P, and the rate is the same. So PR into T1 minus PR into T2 is equal to 412.50. That's the concept. So equal sums, let that sum be P. Rate is 0.11 into 3.5 years, that is 7 by 2, minus P into 0.11, same rate, into T2, that is 9 by 2, is equal to 412.5. So this turns out to be 0.77p minus, it should be the other way around. This is a bigger interest, so it should be this way. So it will be 0.77 minus 0.77p and 0.99p, the whole by 2. So we can take the 2, multiply both sides by 2 into 2. This turns out to be 825 and this turns out to be 0.22p. So P turns out to be 825 upon 0.22. Now let's see what the same as 82,500 by 22. We have 82, which turns out to be 3,750. So the sum that has been given, although the interest rate is the same, the periods are different, difference has been given. So we have the principal amount being 3,750. Okay. So that's 3,750. Okay, here again we have a similar kind of a question. Only thing is the interest is not the same, but there is some difference in interest that has been given. If the simple interest on rupees 1400 for 3 years is less than the simple interest on rupees 1800 for the same period by rupees 80, then the rate of interest is what? So, then the simple interest again here, PR, so P1R into T minus P2R into T. This has been given as AT. So it's going to be P1 is nothing but 1800 into R into 3 minus 1400 into R into 3 is equal to 80. And that turns out to be 5400 R minus 4200 R is equal to 80, which turns out to be R is equal to 80 upon 1200, which turns out to be 1 by 15. Which turns out to be 0.667. So 0.667 divided by 120. Sorry, it's 0.0667, that's nothing but 6.67% roughly. You have to multiply by 100. So the rate of interest is 6.67%. Right, it's 6.67%. So we have taken quite a number of questions on simple interest. We did simple cases of how we can calculate the interest if the principal rate and time are known, or if the rate was known and principal is not known, how to find the principal. We also did cases wherein the period has been given in months, or some cases, a few cases wherein the rate per month was given, how we need to convert it into an equivalent rate per annum, and the months have to be converted to years. These two go hand in hand. We also did a number of cases wherein the difference in simple interest between two different principals for the same rate and same time was given, or different principals, same principal but for different rates for the same period of time, or various combinations. So you formed simultaneous equations or equations with the help of which we solve. So these all will give you a good purview of what the concept of simple interest is, because this is very important to understand, because so that it makes us understand the next concept, the next level, that is the concept of compound interest.